Hey everybody, this is Yafravan, and today I'm going to go over primarily SuperUI bots in this video, the life cycle, how to add them fresh, how to add them back after a server restart, a bit of how to interact with them, and go over some of the control panels that have been created. You'll also notice real quick that the general layout has had a slight modification. I've added a top level nav bar to declutter the sidebar, as that was starting to get very bloated, and it gives me space to expand some of the other smaller sections as time goes on. So let's head over to AI bot control. And for those of you that already have the site loaded, iBot monitor may be stuck in the middle. At that point, just remember to come over to customize and drag it up to the top and save so that you can sticky it, as this is the page that has the add and load commands. You could type them directly into console, but this is just an easier way to go about it. So right now, most of the bots are offline. I already have a lot of bots in games. I'm going to go ahead and load them all. So when you do that, you're going to start seeing all of this populate as they come online. This is all through RA commands. And then I'm also going to add a bot. In this pane, you can decide how many bots you'd like per class and race. So if we just say, let's do one of each for everything, and I'm going to go ahead and jump over to in-game so that we can see that as it happens. So let's go ahead and hit spawn. And as they pop into the game here, they start moving around. If I was to grab one and say, hey, invite, then what's going to happen is this bot, once its AI updates, is going to come over to hang out with me. You could think of this a little bit like Guild Wars Henchmen, in that it'll now walk around with you, do what you're doing. And I'm going to go ahead and go back to the site. I already had it on, but right here is the engine. If I was to toggle this engine off, ultimately what that does is kind of stops the bots from really doing much of anything. They just kind of stop activity. When I do engine on, bots go back to being active and moving around. Now, they still very much pad like bots and act like bots. I don't have a perfect fix for that right now. I'm really more worried about, are they able to, quest? Are they leveling? Are they functioning, if you will, in the game sense, right? Pathing's a bit more complicated. So, okay. At this point, what's going to happen is if I was attacking a target, it's going to attack a target, primarily mine since it's following me, but it would also help party members if you had other players in your party. And I didn't really give this bot time to collect all of its quests that it needed to do, since that's not really automatic right now. It's kind of in that follow mode. So if we say in party, do your rounds, then it'll answer back to you, and the bot's going to go ahead and go collect quests within a 150-yard radius. It's going to sell, vendor, etc. And this is kind of a really simple way of accomplishing this right now. Again, this is always still working in progress, but this bot, if we were to run into an instance, it'll follow you inside, assuming obviously that we're at the appropriate level, etc. And the AI is the same as the party bot AI for now. In combat in the future, that's going to be a rotation that you load and kind of fine tune. So as you can see, it finished everything it could. So therefore, it's back to following. You could also interrupt that by typing let's move. And on the release, I did put a chat commands in there, and that page will grow as more commands become available. If I uninvite the bot, a few seconds later, it's going to have its update AI loop, and it's going to go off and do its own thing. It has its solo engine back on, and away it goes. So let's go ahead and go back now to the website, go over a few different things. The bot cockpit here, if you will, right? Your master command panel. You click on, say, a given bot. It's going to tell you, it's a Tauren, it's a shaman. Here's the name. And this was already here. I've shown this in other videos. What I've added is that there's a little control button here, and it's also here on the side. Basically, you can send move to commands. You can, set a specific task, make it say something, force a quest through. Basically, just manual things you can do with the bots, or even all connected bots if you wanted. You can see all the quests that this bot has done. You can see the gear / backpack and here. And then you can also see, obviously what that bot is thinking about doing. Just as a refresher, you also have down here the inventories. You'll see that there's some epics here. I have my Ludifier active, and that affects everybody, both bots and real players. So it looks like he's gotten quite lucky, gotten some decent rolls on his turn-ins on quests, since they're not doing any crafting yet. Let's go ahead and go over to Fleet View. And this is likely not that interesting yet. For most of you, this is where I'm troubleshooting the different things that are going wrong. But now you can see it live on your own server. The bot map viewer, this is where it's updated you can put a higher update frequency, but it's set standard default to 4 seconds. And this just allows you to see all of the bots you have as they're moving around and, doing different things, where they are, what they're doing, right, in a very condensed view. If we hit on, column door, we can also see this side. And they will take some flight paths. So as you can see, they managed to get themselves over here to keep leveling. And then chat fill. I went over this very briefly, and there's a few too many options here to really go through all of them in a video. If you hit the little question mark next to any of these, there's a description that tells you kind of what this knob does. And these things can range from their vulgarity in their responses, as I've put some hard changes into the C# so that even if a local AI model outputs clean text, it'll inject some, profanity in there, because in my goal, it's just to have a bit of that 2005, 2006, 2004 feel to the game. How often they're going to respond, how much they'll continue a conversation between themselves. And so, look through it, read through it, see, what you want in game. And then chat capacity. This is where you would add your actual AI model. So if you have, a computer on your LAN that's serving that model, is it OpenAI, say VLLM? Is it Ollama? What is the exact model name? I'd recommend just asking AI for help in kind of setting this page up. It's not too complicated. The voice library here is basically giving a somewhat unique, persona to each bot. And this is also being generated via my local AI model. It's more difficult for a small model to pull off. So Quen, 4B really struggles with this. It can take hours because it keeps being very redundant. If you have something like a 35B model or a 27B model, it's going to go through this much faster. And so, okay. It's really what I have for bots there. A lot of it's just kind of letting them run around the world. You can talk to them, you can say things, they'll answer back. And they can have some kind of carry-on conversation, right? Of course, it's still a little bot-like. We would expect that. Not as good as I would like yet, but hopefully, with this in place, and if you, of course, this requires the SuperUI core, and play around with it. Any kind of errors, things you all see that aren't working, the more feedback I get, the nicer it is, and the better we can work through, fixing those things. Thank you so much for your time.